the baby is satisfied for the moment. I don't want to do this, but I owe it to you. We have to talk about July. This month flew by, first of all. Maybe it just felt like that because my last video was a 2-month wrap up and this one is gonna be just 1 month. There was lots of fun had, to be completely honest, because for the month of July, my business was on vacay, which was very much needed. And I wasn't really thinking about money that much. I didn't spend more or anything in most categories, but I feel a little like I've hit a plateau. I feel like I was making a lot of progress in the beginning of the year. And then the summer, I don't know if it's because it's hot. I don't know if it's because I'm tired. I don't know if it's because work is busy. But every time I have sat down the last couple of months to like work on these videos and to make sure that I've got all my ducks in a row and I write down the positive, negative, and goal updates and stuff, I just feel like I'm not making any progress. But I'll let you be the judge of that. Let's dive into it. So the positive moments. I'm trying to give myself a financial education, as you may or may not have observed. And I've been having a really good experience with Ellevest. Obviously, I'm not being sponsored by anybody ever for anything. But with my Moo and Caleb leading me astray, I was like, this is not educating me. I don't know what's happening. So I'd heard about Ellevest a while ago. It had just been in the back of my brain. So I decided to give it a go and it has been great. They have a crazy amount of articles. I had a one-on-one with a financial advisor. We'll talk about that in the August video. And I've put a little money into their investment account. We'll see how it goes. But it is a subscription. So I'm gonna try to get as much use out of it as I can. And so far, well worth the $12 a month. It'll be even more worth it once I get some more money in there, but problem for another day. But I'm really happy to be somewhere that's like women-centric and actually wants to listen to me even if I don't have a ton of money in their accounts, because like Fidelity won't even talk to you unless you have $100,000 in assets with them. Fine. I like that they have financial resources that speak to women's education gap in finances. We have longer lifespans. We make less money overall. We have different priorities and different responsibilities than men do. So gearing a financial institution towards those things makes a ton of sense to me. And Moomoo is still just too fucking complicated. I went in there the other day with knowledge I had learned from Ellevest to try to manipulate some stuff. That $100 is just like gone. I don't know, like it's still there, don't worry. But like, I just wanna pull it all out. I don't even know if I can yet. I don't even know if it's been in there long enough. But anyway, it's just insane that it's that complicated, that it's that gate-kept. No wonder women are like massively behind in investing, because if that's how the investment platforms generally operate, I'm not surprised. I also sold my old version of Monopoly the other day, and the guy paid me on Cash App, and I was like, let me just invest this $5. There's like a super fun metaphor there, but I'm way too tired to even try to make it up. It has lost money, by the way. So another fun thing that happened in July, besides me being on vacation basically the whole month, we went to Savannah, me and Emmett. We went and visited my parents. He went to the beach for the first time. It was frickin' adorable. This is in the positive category, obviously, money-wise. I didn't pay for food for basically a whole week. And what's cool is while I was on vacation, I was still able to pay myself, which is like a huge thing for me as a small business owner. I've never taken a vacation where I was able to pay myself, where I didn't have to stop my payroll. And after doing the math, I have about 8 months worth of my income and taxes in the business checking account. Cash, liquid, able to be used for my payroll if something were to happen, if I had to shut down the business for a not fun reason. And that's like a really wonderful milestone that I need to like give myself credit for. It's really incredible how much money you can have for your business when you don't spend it all on your own personal crap. Really wish I would have gotten my financial shit together during COVID. Better late than never. But that was pretty much like it for the positive moments. Except I got this furniture. So this couch, lots of birds on it. We'll talk a little bit more about this in the home goods and furniture section of the goal update video. But that was a positive. That was a positive. I would say that was positive. But let's dive into the less positive. I apparently overdrafted my checking account. I would say that's a not good thing when I'm trying to get my finances in order. Okay, so what happened? I forgot while I was on vacation to run my own payroll. So although I'm able to and there was money, I just forgot to press pay now. It was no big deal. I obviously ran it. It was in my account the next day. No biggie. Wells Fargo was like, girl, it's okay. But that was not great. It's a girl boss problem. But it got me thinking about how on the longer months, having my payroll go on the 15th and on the last day of the month doesn't really help me out. So I adjusted my payroll to pay me every other week. So there will be months where I get 3 paychecks, which will help me survive those longer months of contributing money into our house account, as well as for the every once in a while expenses that come up. Girl boss flex. But that was really the only less positive thing in July. Everything else was gravy. We're happy with the amount in our house account, checking and savings. I'm happy with the amounts in my accounts. We got a car insurance payment coming up here shortly, and I'm not afraid of it. It's good. It's unsteady, but it's good. So let's talk about some goal updates, just to stay on track here. Alcohol in the house. People just keep buying it and bringing it to us. So Dan's boss got him a really nice bottle of whiskey. My parents came and visited and brought wine and vodka and bourbon, and it just gets left here, and what am I supposed to do? Just leave it? But I didn't buy any of it. And I really would say, because I am not actively buying alcohol or asking Dan to buy alcohol for me, it's way down. Our consumption is way down. Books. When we were in Savannah, my mom gave us a ton of books. Emmett got a bunch of new books, I got a bunch of new books, and that's great. I didn't buy any new books. I haven't even been tempted to. And last month, the New York Times came up with their 100 best books of the 21st century so far. And I went through and read the descriptions of all 100 because I had a day off and I could. And I added a bunch to my Libby, and I'm very excited to go through those and not buy any of them. I even snagged a book from the little free libraries in Savannah. My dad said I wasn't allowed to because I didn't live there, but I did it anyway. New clothes, zilch, nada, nothing. No new clothes came into the house in July. No ThredUp orders, no Plato's Closet, no Goodwill, nothing. However, someone got me started thinking about Christmas, because when you're the mom of a household, you have to plan this far in advance for Christmas. So did I maybe start a Christmas list for myself of things that I would like, including some matching sets of pajamas and some matching loungewear sets for friends and family to bestow upon me. Yeah, come here. But those are things for other people to buy me, not me. I'm not buying those things, but I don't think there's a crime in making a wish list for when my year experiment is over. But I will say that, going forward, I will never buy as many new clothes as I bought before I started trying to do this. There's a baby very close to the tripod. Hey, can you come here? Hey, come here. You sit on you say hi? Hi. Can you say hi? Yeah. One thing that we will talk about next month, daycare, and how that somehow fits into our budget. Maybe, possibly. Okay, let me go get him situated and then we will continue. Okay, he's good. Furniture and home goods. So I obviously didn't buy anything. We got some really beautiful things, and a part of me was dying the entire time I was there because it was a quick move. It was not my move. I was not in charge of this move. So there were a lot of things that were thrown away that could have been recycled or could have gotten to another home or could have been donated or cleaned up, but we just didn't have the time or the resources. Was it perfect? No. But I feel like I did everything that was in my power. Bringing a giant truck, taking a lot of the big furniture pieces off of my family's hands to make it as sustainable and environmentally friendly as I could have. And then, yeah, we brought a lot of home goods into the house. Some really beautiful pieces, some pieces from my childhood that I'm very excited to have and to make a part of my own child's childhood. I did do something bad in terms of the no buy year, not buying things I don't need. And that was, I bought 4 new photo albums. They match one of the ones I already had, my favorite, hence I bought 4 more. And I consolidated all of our pictures into those 5 total albums. But that's the first thing this year that I bought that I was like, I didn't really need this, but I wanted it, and it's gonna make my life a little bit better. And for that, I am thankful. I can't even tell you though how satisfying it was to pull out all of the photos and then put them back in a proper order and make everything look nice and have it all match in the cabinet. It's like a high. Baby stuff. So I hinted at this in last month's video, but we had to buy a new car seat. So I did. I bought a new car seat. And 2 more pacifiers because I somehow have lost a couple, and I don't know how that happens. I don't like losing things that I purchase. And we did buy them on Amazon Prime Day. Generally, I do not recommend Amazon Prime Day. There were a bunch of videos this year about how people had stuff saved in their cart and it was at a certain price, and then on Amazon Prime Day, they went to go purchase it because they thought it would be cheaper, and it was more expensive because Amazon Prime Day is a crock. However, I was following the prices on these bad boys. You best believe. And I utilized every single bit of point usage I could to get this device for my child. I used the rest of our Capital One points because when you use points on the Venture card, it can be used for miles or it can be automatically converted into dollars on Amazon, which is like the only thing I like about that card. So I ended up getting an over $200 order car seat and pacifiers for $85. So that was a win. And it got a bathing suit and a sun shirt. I'm looking at my notes here. So we did go to Once Upon a Child. He got a sun shirt for $1, which that will be the only time he wears it because it was basically already too small. And we did get a little pair of swim trunks, which are very cute. So it was like $4. You won't tell me that store isn't the best thing for children. You won't, because I won't believe you, because it is. Food and drink. So when I was in Savannah, one of my best friends came down with me and we went out to a bar and she bought me a cocktail, which was delightful, and a little app. And then my other bestie from LA came into town and I bought her and me and Emmett some lunch, and I regret none of it. We got soaking wring and wet walking into the restaurant in the rain, and core memory unlocked. I think that's probably gonna be my favorite thing about this No Buy Year, is that I gave myself permission to do something. Because I don't necessarily go out to eat with people very often, and so telling myself, no, that is what you can do, has gotten me to go out more. Not like a ton, but more than I did before. Feels freeing. It's like a relief. It's nice. Instead of having too many, no, you can't buy this, having something set up where it's like, yes, you can spend money on this because it's a good thing for your health mentally. Paint and home improvement. I didn't do anything to improve my house this last month. It's very expensive to improve your house, but we are gonna do the swing. I think we're gonna do it in September. I have a whole video about it. It's gonna be a months long creation, but we are gonna do a swing with the swing that was in the house when we bought it. We're gonna move it outside. We have the plans, we have the measurements. I've priced it out. We're gonna do it, I think we're gonna do it in September. So stay tuned. So that's the goal update. So now let's go to the debt roundup. I have our beloved pie chart here. Let me pull it up on my end, because what am I even doing? $1,500 on bills, because this was a longer week. There were more Mondays. So every Monday I put $300 into the house account to cover bills. And so we had more Mondays, so $1,500 as opposed to the normal $1,200. Savings, I put $412 into savings. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. $46 was spent on BS, and I couldn't even tell you what that was. I don't even know. Do I need to go look that up? It's fine. It's fine. Medical, $170. So not towards the medical bill. But Dan and I both went to a primary care physician. We both started like a relationship with a primary care doctor, which I'm very thrilled with, and we had a good time. That did result in a co-pay. And then I went to the chiropractor once. I was having some back issues, and I can't remember what the other one was. But yeah, so we had some medical payments. We had some medical things. We're just trying to take care of ourselves. We're just trying to be proactive instead of reactive, you know? Gas and parking, $70. Because I went to Savannah. So usually my gas goes on my business card because I'm only really driving when I'm going to a shoot or for some other business thing. But this month I was off, I was on vacation. So all of my gas was purchased by me. And then we had to park a little bit in Savannah, so that's why. Because usually my gas is only like $60 a month, $30 every other week. Don't sleep on that Toyota Corolla, y'all. So anyway, it was a glaring issue to me now, especially since we are halfway through the year, that on these pie charts, I didn't include like what the total amount I spent was. That's an issue since I know what my income is. I better be tracking what I'm putting out. See, I'm getting smarter. I'm figuring this out. Like, it's taking me 1 million years to do, but I am getting better at this whole like budgeting, figuring out finance stuff. Except I spent more than my salary. I mean, how are you supposed to live on $1,700 a month? You really can't. But $1,898. Now that is lower than the previous month. It's higher than May. I've got all of them here. Maybe I'll put them at the end. I'll put them all at the end of the video so you can see what I spent, so we can do a little review. Ooh, that's a cute idea. Okay, I'll do that. I just came up with that right now. So up until now, you just have the pie chart to look at. How are you supposed to compare one month to another? Are you gonna go back and watch all of the videos like multiple times a month? I mean, you could. Boost a girl's watch hours, why don't you? I've made a new graph. This graph is something I should have been doing from the very get-go. The green line represents my income. The blue line represents how much I spent that month. As you can see, most of the time I am spending less than I make, which is great news. Now there are a couple months, well really just the 2 months, where it was aggressively different. but we're cutting it a little close. My income varies a little bit because of like acting residual checks that come through, or that one acting job I did, or if someone gives me a tip for something, like for headshots or something like that. So, but generally it's staying around the same. This is very helpful for me. This is very helpful for a checking perspective because, as you may know, like for the rest of the graphs and the other things that we're looking at, we're not really looking at my checking account because the money fluctuates in there so much. But this is really helpful for just seeing day to day where my habits lie. Tell me what you think of this graph. I think it's great. You tell me. Anyway, I'll put all of the pie charts at the end of the video though, so you can like look and compare for yourselves. And I also added the total spent at the bottom of each of those pie charts, so you're welcome. So let's do the debt roundup numbers. Wells Fargo credit card, $0. Capital One, $0. Medical debt, $6,347.75. You may be saying to yourself, Casey, that doesn't sound any different than the amount you already owed on the medical debt. You would be correct. I have paid nothing. Still getting phone calls, probably like once, sometimes twice a week from the debt collection agency. And we're just gonna ride that wave until next March because apparently that's how long it's gonna take before it's reported to the credit agency. So personal loan, $7,460. Now, I have a new breakdown for you. I realized I had never really broken down what the personal loan covered. The personal loan, the amount that I owe is $7,460. My husband, in his name, took out a personal loan last spring for $30,000 to cover some really big bills that we had to minimize our minimum payments. Was it something that I would go back and do again? Maybe not, but it is what it is. It's a past mistake. We now just have to handle it. So let's look at what the personal loan was spent on. So as you can see, it covered my tax bill from 2022. I'm gonna go with 2022. Yeah, because last year we got a refund and this year we haven't paid yet. Yep, so 2022. It covered the Capital One credit card balance. We thought it was gonna cover Emmett's delivery, which, spoiler alert, as you guys know, it didn't. It also then covered and consolidated Dan's Discover card and his Chase card. So here's how we have kind of divvied this up. The amount that was used via the personal loan. My taxes were paid. Because I had made a couple of payments on it already, the amount we only needed from the personal loan was like $6,100. The Capital One credit card. So it paid a little bit more. I don't remember why, but I don't know. It's just lump sums. Emmett's Delivery, we didn't use any of it for Emmett's Delivery because we weren't going to add 7% of interest onto a medical debt that had 0 interest to start with. That's why it's in collections. Anyway, Discover card and Chase card. So those were the amounts that were put on those cards to consolidate them. So what do I owe? Where does this $7,400 amount come from? So my tax bill, obviously I owe that, so that's all on me. The Capital One credit, that was our house credit card, so I will pay for half of it, half my responsibility. And then I obviously don't owe anything for Dan's credit cards or for the medical bill because we didn't use it to cover that. The $76,740, I don't really know why it's $200 more. This is hard. Math is hard. Anyway, so that's roughly where that number comes from. So my debt is at $18,407.75, which for those savvy bar chart lovers, the debt is the same. That's the exact same. It's not good. That's not a good thing. That's like really bad. It's bad. Don't love that. But let's talk about the money I do have. Yay! So in total, almost $10,000 to my name. Ooh, fancy. And that's personal money. That's not business money. There's more money in the business account. This is just money that is in my name. Savings just went up just that little bit. And remember, the Fidelity like fluctuates, right? So like that's not always going to be the same. That's why I said I put, you know, a certain amount towards savings and then it doesn't quite equal that in the bar chart. It's because of the stock market. But in Fidelity, we have $5,756.87. Amex, we have $3,400. I think that's right now. Smarty Pig is at $483.39. Moo, $100. Ellevest, $5. Cash App Invest, $4.73. Money total, $9,821.15. Yes, the Smarty Pig is the same as it was last month. I was not able to do that because it was supposed to pull when I'd overdrafted my account. Anyway, it's a mess, so that's on hold for the moment. So basically, I'm not making any progress. But when I literally only have like $400 to $500 to play with of my own money, it's tough. Like, how is anybody supposed to really make any progress with that kind of money? I mean, it's just hard. And that has to include any spending of stuff that I might need, like emergencies. I can't like zero out my account every month. And that's one of my problems with Caleb Hammer, is that like he does your budget and then he's like, oh, well, you have $600 left over after minimum payments and the stuff that you say you need. And I'm like, yeah, but I have to leave that. I have to leave some money in the account, because if I don't have the money for those little things that pop up that I might need, especially because I have a kid. I'm not trying to be too hard on myself, I guess. It's just hard to make the progress I want to make because I just don't make enough money. I think my spending is pretty in control. Like, I say I'm not making any progress, but if I was spending the way that I used to spend, I think I would be digging myself a deeper hole. We're not getting into any more debt, so I need to be grateful for that. So that's my graph. But let's look at the debt savings graph too. So like it's saying my bills were higher this month, which is true, which is kind of a bummer. But the savings was still more than all the rest of my other crap. It's still more than the bullshit. It's still more than the gas. It's still more than the medical. That's good. That's good. They're in the right rate. They're in the right positions. They're just not in the right ratios, is what it is. And then obviously the debt savings other graph just it looks the same. It's the exact same. But in October, it's gonna look very different. So you'll just have to keep watching until October. There's a plan, and in October, it's gonna look very different. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. So for the household, let's look at the household amounts. Our debt went down a little bit. Not by a ton. Our numbers would be better if my husband didn't use his credit cards, but he pays them off every month, so they're about at the same amount every time. It's not a huge amount of money, but it still makes me grumpy. And our savings went up. And our savings went up my little tiny bit. But the reason the savings went up that much is because my husband has got some money in some Treasury Direct bills, and they are gaining good money. So it makes our savings look better than it was. And if we look at our line graphs here, our savings are going up, the debt's going down, we are going slow and steady. It is real, it is happening. It's not as fast as I want it to. It's just excruciatingly slow. But maybe that's just my millennial 21st century mindset that I want everything to be immediate, and that is not how things work. That is not how real change is made, and I have to remember that. But we've done a couple of things last month, like we got rid of HBO, and we got rid of Spotify Premium, and we are doing like all YouTube Premium, which does save us a little bit of money. We're doing really good about saving electricity and water right now. Even though it's incredibly hot, our bills are lower this summer than they were last summer, which is great. And my next thing will be to convince Dan to switch phone carriers, because that's one of our like biggest bills that most of the time doesn't need to be that big in compared to like other people. I'm also going to shop around for some car insurance, because our car insurance is really expensive, and that'll change our home insurance. So we just need to get a better, lower rate, because right now some of our standard needs bills are just like really high. I think we're just stretched too thin for the bills that we actually have. We spend way more than 30% of our household income on our housing. It's probably closer to 50% with mortgage and all of our bills like the water, power, gas, home insurance. It's probably closer to 45, 50%, and that's too much. It's too much. It's just the nature of the beast right now. I think the housing market is crazy. We live in a suburban area of a major metropolitan area, and it's just expensive. My income was just different before I incorporated. I could have used more of that money that's in my business account for these things like car insurance, or for the increases in a couple of these other premiums. But I'm trying to be good. I'm trying to keep business money business. I only do owner's draws for things that make sense. Yeah, I think we're just stretched too thin. We're not in the proper ratios for anything. And like whenever I go on financial audit, like I hope Caleb doesn't tell me to sell the house. It's just not gonna happen. It's my house. It's like the only really good thing I have going for me right now. So here comes August. Next month's goals. This is insane. I can't believe it's August already. I'm not even treating myself to school supplies this August, which usually I go, look around, smell all the pencils, look at all the cute new backpacks, buy myself a new pen. I'm not even doing that this year. I'm gonna get my fill of buying school supplies once he goes to school. But I really am just too broke. So in August, I have 2 money meetings. One with an Ellevest certified financial planner, which is really great. And then I also have a meeting with our accountant for like a mid-year review, making sure we're on track, making sure we're doing the things that are gonna make tax season that much easier. Because we usually get all of our stuff in at the end of January, they file it in February, we get our refund in March. So in August, we like to check in, make sure everything's going okay. I have a slew of questions for the accountant to make sure that I am doing everything appropriately and for some changes that we want to make. I need to talk to them about this medical debt being in collections. I need to talk to them about if the business can pay for daycare. I got some things to talk to them about. And then in terms of like specific amounts for each account to reach, I'm tempted to not do that anymore because I will overdraft my account in order to meet those goals. And that's not the point. Because that's literally why I overdrafted last month, was because of a savings transfer. So that's obviously not gonna work. I should say that one of my goals for next month would be to make a debt payment, but I don't think it's gonna happen because I have such a good plan for October. It's gonna be good. I can do it. I can do it. I'm not even gonna talk about it. I'm not even gonna put in the ether, you have to come back in October to see it. And I gotta iron that out with the accountant and make sure that's legit. Anyway, thanks for watching my brain dump for July. August, we're all back to school. I'm back to work. We're back to making money. The baby's gonna be doing some cool stuff. I'm gonna be thinking about money every day. I can promise you, I am reinvesting in this project. We've gotta see it to the finish line. So thank you for watching. I've got some other videos coming out this month just for you that don't talk about money. Amazing, I know. And stay tuned for the August wrap up. Until then, don't spend your money on pointless crap. Okay, bye!